Oh, we're gonna go by there. I don't care if it's 10 o'clock at night. We're gonna go by there and do a burnout at least. Maybe we can have some dinner with them or something like that. But congratulations. Welcome to episode 107 of the Drag Driver Pete Show presented by Summit Racing. Huge show tonight. I got to get another word other than huge because it just keeps getting more huger. This is going to be crazy. So, Detroit is the leading manufacturer of high performance fuel system components. The DW product line includes fuel injectors, pumps, pump modules, fuel rails, regulators, filters, lines, and fittings, and surge tanks, all engineered to support power levels ranging from 400 to 2,200 horsepower. Since its founding, Deechworks has been committed to delivering quality, innovation, and precision to the automotive performance industry. Every DW product is built to maximize reliability and efficiency, which is what you got to have in drag and drive life, ensuring optimal fueling solutions for racers, tuners, and performance enthusiasts worldwide. With a focus on engineering excellence and industry leading customer support, Deechworks continues to drive the future of high performance fueling, and they are the official fuel delivery system of Drag Driver Pete here. See him next week as well. All right. Barn Find Fabricators here saying great show, everyone. And then, man, back to Dan Chandler here. He's at Back to the Streets.
Yeah, there was somebody else up here, Casey.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, Casey, the North Carolina Drop the Hammer co-host,
Yep.
going to be out there. You got to get those drag and drives in. If you're going to host one, you got to do one. You know, that's kind of how it needs to go, right?
Oh, 100%.
All right. Real quick here, we're going to do ad read, and then we're going to talk about some stuff, and then we're going to bring in Team Hybrid. Mr. Jeremy Ortiz is going to be in here talking about streetcar bragging rights. So but hey, you know, we're driving right through Oklahoma City sometime in about 8 or 9 days, maybe 10 days from now. So I think we're going to have to make a stop by the old Deechworks factory there in Oklahoma City.
I definitely think we should do that because I haven't been there, so it'd be a perfect chance.
Yeah, and you know, out front when they stopped for 666, they did some burnouts. So we need to see if those burnouts are still there, and we need to also kind of help reseal the road there if we're going to be over by there.
Fair enough.
All right, well, let's talk about some streetcar bragging rights, y'all. 500 plus cars. We talked about this last week in extreme detail. The streetcar bragging rights shootout, absolutely insane. 125 cars. We're going to dive deep into it with Jeremy here in just a few minutes, but it was crazy, man. What I really liked, and I can't wait to hear his thoughts on this, was blind qualifying. So they had like 3 rounds of blind qualifying. Nobody knew what each other ran, so you didn't know where you stood in line. But then they took and broke that class down into 4 classes based on ET ranges, right? So the quickest class is elite, which is the fastest stuff, and you can see our boy Jim Braun, who's been a guest on the show before with Brett LaSala on here, took the win in the streetcar bragging rights elite class. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Streetcar, just bad to the bone, dude. And then the wild class, which is like that next class, our boy Jeremy Ortiz taking it home. Great photos of him in the winner's circle. Man, bragging rights, streetcar bragging rights, Nate Prater did an amazing job of all the decorations that go in there. And then Alan Whitaker takes home the win in heavyweight class. You know, car weighs 4,200 pounds or 4,500 pounds, something like that. And then, oh man, I thought there's one other one on there. But my plan is to eventually break down and write an article that has all of the drag and drive racers that attended streetcar bragging rights on it and kind of go into detail. I just didn't have time to do that because we moved the show up a day. So I spent most of today writing notes and getting photos and things like that for the show today. So Deechworks, obviously a sponsor of streetcar bragging rights. Man, they're just involved in everything that is streetcar related. They're involved, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to hopefully we can make that happen and swing by while we're there.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to go by there. I don't care if it's 10 o'clock at night. We're going to go by there and do a burnout at least. Maybe we can have some dinner with them or something like that. But congratulations to all the winners of streetcar bragging rights. That looked like one of the toughest races of the year, especially for cars that are, street worthy. I watched a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it on Freedom Plus. Went in and signed up for a whole subscription and all that kind of stuff. I can't wait for Eric to go through some of that stuff and watch it. There's some really, really good racing. The blind qualifying really threw me for a loop because a lot of times I'm taking notes as I'm working, right? So I've got playing in my ear. It'll say like Jeremy ran X or whatever. Well, you didn't get any of that. So it's just like people making passes all day. You got to hear that sweet, buttery voice of Derek Putnam in there. And then, of course, Saturday Saturday was the eliminations, and that went amazingly well. Lots of really, really, really fast passes. Lots of PBs for people. And then I want to say John Mankia ran a perfect 8500, but I haven't seen the sheets come out yet to verify that. But in one of the rounds, I think he went to the 5th round, and then David Fontaine also went to the 5th round in the streetcar bragging rights index class. So pretty crazy, man.
Nice. I know Rich went pretty far too.
And
Yeah.
stick shift.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, there's a ton of drag and drive racers on there. I'm sure Jeremy's going to have a little bit about that to talk about. But again, thanks to DeechWorks. We'll see you guys in a few days. If you need any kind of fuel system upgrades, if you want to look at stuff, they got it, man. I'm telling you. This triple pump module here we're showing on the screen, 2011 to 2024 Mustang drop in. This is one of the biggest things about them. A lot of their stuff is drop in. They do have universal pumps and things like that, but this is a lot of stuff is kind of drop in. This is a 3 Series pump, supports up to 1700 horsepower. OEM fitment, retains the factory surge features. I mean, like, this is all kinds of cool stuff you can just put in and make all the power.
Yep. You got it.
All right, sir. Lead us into some race car friends here, man.
All right. So we've had we're an hour into the show. So great conversation so far with Craving Cars. Tons of updates for everybody. And again, we can't do it without you guys watching, all the comments you guys are making, shares, likes. That's why we call you guys our race car friends. And if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to do all this. Same goes for our sponsors. Obviously, they help make a lot of this possible, especially with traveling coming up, 3 events in the month of June for me. Obviously, again, can't do that without those guys. So thank you to Summit Racing Equipment, DeechWorks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cams, J-Wire Solution, WAF Racing, Performa-Built Transmissions, Car Change 3D, Power Tube TV, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk. And you guys know the deal. We talk about this every week. The gentleman's agreement. All that means is that we're going to continue doing what we love, which is bringing you guys content about events, whether that be photos, videos, live streams, interviews, you name it. We're going to keep doing that because we love doing that. And we ask you guys to like our content, share it out with the rest of your friends, follow, subscribe, whatever platform that you are on. Make sure you do that. Just help us grow this community so we can continue doing what we love.